Welcome back and welcome to our weekly edition of All Things Women in Sports. I tell you what, the hits just keep on coming for the Indiana Fever. This weekend, yet another one of their players was hurt. On Sunday, the Fever were playing the Connecticut Sun, but with 8 minutes left to go in the first half, Sophie Cunningham went down holding her knee, and she would not return to the game. Today, the team has confirmed Sophie suffered an MCL tear in her right knee and will miss the remainder of the season. And it's just brutal news for the Fever, as this makes the third Indiana guard to suffer a season-ending injury in just the last 11 days. And that doesn't even include Caitlin Clark, who's been out most of the season with a groin issue. In less than 2 weeks, the Fever have lost Cunningham, Sydney Colson, and Ari McDonald. But against all odds, the Fever won Sunday's matchup against the Sun 99-93 in overtime, and it was largely thanks to this woman right here. Kelsey Mitchell ended the game with 38 points, 34 of which came in the second half to muscle the Fever to victory. After the game, many of her teammates, including Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, were vocal about Kelsey being in the running for this season's WNBA MVP award. Luckily, after all those injuries, the Fever do have a few days off before they take on the top-seeded Minnesota Lynx this Friday. Next year, the WNBA will have another expansion team with the Toronto Tempo. But this past weekend, the league held its first ever in-season game in Canada. The Seattle Storm took on the Atlanta Dream in front of a sold-out crowd in Vancouver. And this was another thriller. The Storm etching out a win 80-78, and that snaps a 6-game win streak for the Dream. But afterwards, all the players called this crowd in Canada electric. So let's take a look at your WNBA standings right now. The Minnesota Lynx have officially secured their playoff spot, becoming the first team to do so this year. And we've had a bit of a shuffling around as the Atlanta Dream have knocked the New York Liberty out of their second place spot. The Aces also climbing up the charts, pushing the Fever back down to 6. Remember, the top 8 teams in this league of 13 will advance to the playoffs. Regular season wraps up September 11th and the playoffs begin on September 14th. Well, did you see the news from NBA 2K26? When the new edition of the video game drops next month, it'll have an expanded My Team mode, which will let you have athletes from the WNBA and NBA play on the same team. W athletes were already included in earlier versions of the game, but this significantly increases their integration with NBA 2K. And someone you can play in 2K is Sue Bird, who just had a huge weekend. In a ceremony before the Seattle Storm hosted the Phoenix Mercury on Sunday, the legendary former guard became the first WNBA player to be honored with a statue at a league arena. Bird spent her entire 2-decade career with the Storm, leading Seattle to 4 WNBA championships. She retired in 2022. All right, let's turn now to tennis. After 12 days of play, there's a brand new champion in Ohio. Iga Swiatek won her first Cincinnati Open title after defeating world number 7 Jasmine Paolini last night. This comes just a few weeks after Swiatek also won Wimbledon. And it's a great turnaround for Swiatek, who had a slow start to her season. This is now her 24th overall title, and with this win, Iga jumps up to number 2 in the world, knocking Coco Gauff down to number 3. So let's take a look at the current top 10 in the WTA. Aryna Sabalenka still holding on to her number 1 seed, and we do have 4 Americans currently in the top 10. I've marked them for you: Coco Gauff, Madison Keys, Amanda Anisimova, and Jessica Pegula. But interestingly, the last 2 years, the winner of the Cincinnati Open has gone on to win that year's U.S. Open. So we'll see if Iga can continue that streak, because the U.S. Open has officially kicked off. This is the 4th and final Grand Slam of the year. World number 1, Sabalenka, is the defending champion. American Coco Gauff won it 2 years ago. Now, yesterday, today, and tomorrow are the qualifying rounds for the women. But finally tonight, I got a quick hockey story for you. The Associated Press is reporting a new single-season salary record in the Professional Women's Hockey League, or PWHL. According to AP, Ottawa Charge forward Emily Clark has signed a contract extension. This pushes her salary for the upcoming season north of the $100,000 mark, which will keep Clark in Ottawa through the PWHL's 5th season, which is 2027-2028. This is reportedly the highest salary in the new league's history. Clark is the only player to have taken the ice in every charge game to date. The PWHL kicks off its 3rd season this November. And that'll do it for this week's edition of Women in Sports.